Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Wow. No way. Road Trek.
Oh yeah, it's the thing I'm trying to do on YouTube and stuff.
How's that coming along?
Not so much.
Shit, you got a GoFundMe?
Yeah. It's been up for over a year.
Sci-fi adventure series. That's actually what kind of like along the lines of something that I was trying to do, except obviously you have a plan and I don't. And it looks like yours is kind of like an advertisement where you can kind of gain like a following and stuff, you know. But like the whole sci-fi thing and like that actually looks like it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Where exactly would your destination be though?
I mean, it's not about a destination. It's about like an adventure, getting lost in alternate dimensions and all that kind of stuff.
You do. I've got a Class C RV, but it's back home in Florida, so I was living in a van.
Oh shit.
Because, like, I mean, honestly, like, if I was gonna be staying in an RV, I actually prefer sleeping up here, right here, in this loft part.
Yeah, that's where I want to sleep.
Because that's, like, you get good airflow there. You know, you're above everything, and, like, down here in the bottom is where your stuff goes, like, storage and, like, your food and everything. I don't really want to be sleeping there. I kind of like being elevated, because like, in my RV, back home, I have a TV that's mounted right here.
Oh, really?
So I can look back. So I'm sitting in the loft and there's like a little chair up there.
Yeah.
So I can watch television from this little loft part right here.
Oh, that's cool. Do you mind if I flip my dash cam around and maybe include some of this in my YouTube channel?
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, because I talk a lot about RVs. And, yeah. So you actually have a Class C RV?
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like, how long did it take you to get that?
Well, my dad helped me pay for it, so
yeah. See,
yeah, you know.
I got a lot of people on there trying to tell me, oh, get it yourself because of GoFundMe, and I'm getting attacked by trolls left and right. Yeah,
they're expensive as shit. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know why though, because you try to buy one of these new model RVs, they're $80,000.
Oh, yeah,
they're $80,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to get
no sense. You know, all it is a chassis off of like a larger box truck, and then like the siding and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like the culture is what makes it cost more, because people have this RV culture where you can kind of travel and be free.
Yeah, I guess there's like a little bit of that, but yeah, I mean, I know there's also a big demand for them because so many people are living in them now too. But I mean, on Craigslist they can be found, you know, pretty cheap. You know, the older ones for about like maybe $3 or $4 grand.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to, you know, do right now. Just, you know, I don't even really care if it's, you know, pretty or
home is where the heart is, you know. So if you want to buy something, if you're doing what you're saying you want to do, or you want to go on an adventure, you're gonna want to know the ins and outs of your vehicle, because you can buy a brand new RV, but if you don't know every aspect of it, you're not utilizing it to its fullest potential.
Yeah.
You can have a 4,000 RV and get the same amount of enjoyment out of an 80,000 RV if you're not using the things that the $80,000 RV has, the amenities and the technology. Because it sounds like what you're trying to do is go on an adventure, which obviously you're going to travel with that. Well, so you need something that's roadworthy.
Yeah, well that's the thing actually, because you know, because it's going to be just basically an old piece of shit from Craigslist, I'm not really sure how roadworthy it's going to be, like for traveling long distances. Like as far as like just like traveling short distances, like you know, just to move to different parking spots and stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking, but for my actual show though, I'm thinking that because it's probably not going to be all that roadworthy unless I get super lucky. I actually want to build a model of the RV. Well, I mean, it's going to be based on kind of like that model I got on the dashboard there, but it's going to be like larger, more detailed. With I actually want to make it remote control, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
I actually want to build, you know, like buy a remote control car.
$500, make it happen. Yeah, it's not that difficult, you know. People are acting like this is some crazy shit, you know. We got planes that can fly themselves upside down in the stratosphere. You know, it's not too difficult to think about a car that can drive itself. Oh, you know, people are stuck in the Stone Age down here. It's like the second that you get a hold of the joystick for a helicopter or an airplane, and you realize that people that are on the ground are just basically on a level. You go through the rat race, and like it sucks because you get stuck in such a cycle that it stresses you out. You know, this RV adventure would be something that would be good for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, I was on the same type of adventure, and you know, I got what I needed out of it. You know, it brought me back to base level. Because a lot of times, like, people don't realize that a number line, you would think it starts at 0. It starts at negative infinity. You know, you're already in the dump, and then you get born, and you get born into whatever circumstances you're born into. And luckily for me, I was born into some pretty good circumstances, so I was able to experience these things. But now that I've kind of tried to branch out and do my own thing, the support system isn't there. So it's been a good opportunity to create my own support system and really be able to figure out who I am as a person. You know, and that was what part of the adventure was finding out who I really was.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I really need to do. I just need to get out there and live my life, because I'm sure, you know, my YouTube audience knows that I live in my dad's kitchen. I have no personal space or privacy. It really sucks, and I can't live. I can barely even move around.
It's stressful.
Like twist my body without knocking shit over.
Yeah,
it sucks. It's driving me insane. So like,
especially with like the parental control, you get to a certain age where it's like that really shouldn't be an interference in your life.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily for me, I mean, my family doesn't try to really control me. I mean, I'm 30 years old after all, but you know, it's living under, you know, someone else's roof. You know, there's pretty much always going to be, you know, little things that come up and little extra complications. You know, because it's 3 people for a 1 bedroom. So, and there's only 1 bathroom too. So, you know, a lot of times, like if someone's taking a shower and I got to take a piss, I go run out into the backyard. It sucks. It's no way to live. People aren't meant to live in kitchens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically the dining area. It's like in between.
You need an RV. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You need an RV.
Yeah.
You don't need to live in your fucking dad's kitchen. That's bullshit.
I know.
Trust me, I was living over there in the Walmart parking lot in Burbank for a little bit, and then I met my girlfriend, fucking perfect.
Oh,
you know,
lucky.
Like I got inside, I got cleaned up and everything. I got a job. I was so happy, and then we got into a really bad fight. So it's really shit for me right now that I'm not able to talk to her, because I know that I'm able to fix these things, but I stressed her out so much with the mentality that I'm living. Because when you get into because you have an RV that has all the amenities, but if you're living in a van and you create everything from nothing, you know, you have dry, non-perishable food items. It stresses someone out who isn't used to that type of environment. Yeah,
I can see that. And plus, the van doesn't have a bathroom.
No. You know? And for me, I mean, I'll just pop a squat anywhere. I don't give a fuck. But you know, for an 18-year-old girl, that's a lot. That's a huge like culture shock. You know, and I'm trying to find her a bathroom, and it doesn't really matter to me.
Oh man, I met this girl, like, well, it's kind of a complicated, long story, but I basically had her kind of living in the car with me for like a month, and she was kind of like in between.
Bad situation back at home, you know?
Yeah.
Would you rather live, like, this is the way that I saw it. If a girl's willing to live in a car with you, that means that her situation at home isn't good, and that was an opportunity for me to show her the love that I have, but I wasn't able to show it because I didn't have the ability to financially, you know, to get us inside. And she saw that as one of the most important things we had to do. And once we got inside, it's like the survival instinct for me didn't go away. It did for her, but I was always so gung-ho, you know, like trying to get after everything, that I was trying to juggle like 2 jobs at the same time.
Oh wow.
And I didn't have a car, so it's like trying to go back and forth to these jobs. It was stressing me out so bad. And especially since I have the jobs living out of the car, and knowing that I have the RV back home, but I'm not allowed to have access to it because my parents weren't trusting of me, and then I have to go through all this shit for no reason. You know, it put me in a dark place. You know, it's like, why do I have to go through this? And at the end of it, I realized that it was for the better, because it made me realize that you're not entitled to anything. When you're born, that's it. It's like people think that 18's when you get cut off. You get cut off the second you slide out. It's what you make of your universe. You can be the ruler of your own universe if you can control your mind and you can control your environment. And you can control how large your environment is by your social network. So if you cut yourself off in isolation, that's it. You know, you have to be okay with yourself. You know, it's the expectations that are going to ruin you and lead you to depression, because you're expecting, oh, I should have this, I should have that. You know, there's people in Korean like prison camps that are begging and fighting each other to eat rats and to eat tree bark. And I'm sitting out here like, what am I doing trying to work for $12 an hour if I'm not going to get anything out of it? You know, I was trying to get something out of life other than happiness and love. I was trying to get money out of it, and I was going so hard after the money that I fucked myself up. Money's the root of all evil. You know, it's clearly written. So, you know, you go after something, and it's just a concept. It's numbers. 92% of currency is just on a computer. It's digital.
Yeah.
What people show you in paper money, it's nothing. You know, it comes off of sheets.
Yeah, I know all about that. I mean, the money is basically created on a computer screen. They just type it up and there you go, your finance.
The central bank ran this country into the fucking ground, and then the government bailed them out afterwards. And cryptocurrency was what was supposed to be able to save us, and then Russia and China got a hold of it, and then they switched their entire economy to that shit because they knew it was going to be a big deal, because American money really has no value at this point. It's $21 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
It's basically just it's a C note. It's a placeholder. It's something that it catches your attention. Other countries, they're on plastic money. You know, they have in Australia, they have all of their notes, and they don't do the same things that we do with our money. Here, it's like money means so much here, and there, like, you can get a $500 euro note. You know, that's almost $1,000.
Oh, wow.
At one point, I don't know what the exchange rate is now, but I tried to stop focusing on it, because if you really want to go after something, you have to focus on every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be a financial manager, if you're just focusing on American currency, you're cheating yourself. There's thousands of currencies.
Yeah.
Thousands of them, and they all make money. You know, it's time. Time is money.
Yeah.
So if you invest early, you plant that seed grows into a tree. And I can see it, but I'm not able to do anything about it because I'm living out of my car. And you can tell your mom and dad all you want to, that doesn't get you out of your car. What gets you out of your car is going and finding a girl and making your own life and making your own family. And I feel like if you had an RV, that would be something that would be very possible for you.
Yeah.
Because that's a big step, and that's an adventure that, I mean,
that's the main thing I need right now.
If you have an adventure and you have something to occupy your time, which, I mean, a fixer-upper, you know, that'll occupy your time. And if you moonlight,
I don't mind fixing it up. I mean, you know, it's gonna be an old RV. I'm already anticipating that. So, and I'm already real handy. I used to have an old 1984 Ford Tempo, which is kind of like the Focus of the 80s.
Yeah.
And that was the first year that those cars were made, and that thing was breaking down so much. And I learned a lot of, you know, working on the car though too, which was a good thing that came out of it at least. The best thing that I could recommend would be like an older Chevy. Like with a 454 big block in it, something that's easy to work on, the parts are easily accessible. You think those are better than the Fords or the Dodges? Or?
I would recommend Chevy, just because the RV that I have is a Chevy. It's never given me any problems. We went camping a couple times with it, but I mean, it hasn't been on any long journeys. You know, California is a state of distance. You know, you go from the top all the way from San Francisco down to San Diego. That's a pretty good chunk of the United States. You know, you're traveling some distance. You know, you can almost make it to Texas with that link. You know, I don't really know what your plans are in terms of where you're going to go with it, but I mean,
I'm thinking to just start local and just move around every once in a while, every couple days, you know, different spots around the area.
Have you already, like, as an Uber driver, like, you should probably start like trying to remember where places you can park at that don't have overnight restrictions, so that way that when you go and have your RV, you know where to park at. Because
I've actually been scoping out, because I've been doing this Uber thing for almost 2 years. I've done like just about almost 3,000 trips as of right now.
I saw it on you.
Yeah, and so yeah, I've driven a lot. I've seen like all over LA, and you know, pretty much all of Los Angeles County is just saturated in people living in RVs.
Yeah, because the rent's so absorbently
Yeah.
overpriced.
Yeah, that's what I've been covering on my YouTube channel. Cost of living.
$2,500 a month to live in Santa Monica in a 1-bedroom apartment that's falling apart.
Wow.
And what you're doing is you're paying for everyone. You know,
Mm.
you're on a sliding scale because you can apply for all these programs and everything, but then they have your information. You know, then they know where you live. They know everything about you. You know, and I was trying to retain some of my privacy, but at the end of it, you end up losing it anyways. You know, you don't really get much privacy anymore in this world.
Yeah.
Which sucks. The RV is honestly one of the most private things you can have because you can drive it.
Yeah,
and
really.
And any event that happens, if something was to go down like doomsday type deal, you're in an RV and you're bugged out. You know, everyone else is scrambling. They have no idea what to do to survive.
Yeah, and I'm here in my house, just driving my house away.
You're just chilling.
Like, see ya.
City's in the rear view.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I mean, it's scary that the state of the world we're in right now is just you don't know what's gonna happen.
They're milking it dry.
You feel like you got to be prepared for just about anything that can happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, but privacy is a huge thing. Like I know about that so much in my daily life. I literally sleep behind a cardboard wall like 5 feet away from the kitchen sink. And also within 5 feet of the living room TV. And there's no peace and quiet privacy. There's I can't it's really hard to describe.
I always thought like the funniest thing was they had a Mythbusters episode about the RFID chips and credit cards.
Oh yeah.
And they were gonna show you how easy it was to like get through them and how much bullshit like all these new security measures are. And they blocked the episode.
Oh really?
Yeah, these are all the security measures and everything that we face are to conditionalize you. You know, like the airport and
that
everything.
Actually makes sense, yeah.
The school has bells and long hallways, like they're all formatted. It almost looks like a prison.
Yeah,
you know, it's not an environment conducive to learning, and it's making our children of this generation dumber. And the social media is destroying their networks together. You know, so they don't even know their own friends and family and stuff. That's why you have all these shootings and shit. The kids don't even know each other.
Yeah,
and they're fighting the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so much rage and anger, but it's misdirected towards the wrong people. You know, like why hurt your friends and family? If people were faced with the obstacles that I've been faced with, and you most likely have been faced with, they probably would have ended it. So it's glad to know that you're here and that I'm here too.
Yeah.
It's not an easy life.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get you. So like it's not even a question. There are people that do not want you to be here.
I think some of the trolls on my YouTube channel are some of those people that don't want me around anymore. I mean, it's really hard to describe it, like the way that it's like a whole slander defamation campaign.
Imagine what a troll must be thinking when like their significance is commenting on a YouTube video or some shit, you know?
I know.
It's like, what are you doing,
They
man?
spend their whole existence. They harass me 24/7 with multiple accounts.
Yeah.
They like bomb like every video with thumbs down, and
they get some sort of satisfaction from bringing you down.
Yeah.
It's like they're sucking your negative energy.
That's exactly.
They must not have watched Monsters Inc. because obviously the fucking
I've heard that there's a lot of truth in that. And I don't know if you see the little reptilian peeking out from behind the YouTube logo there on my. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't want to give too much of my story away to anyone who's watching this right now, but that's a big part of it. Everything that's fucked up about this world, pretty much, and like these negative entities sucking negativity from people.
So, are you into like the whole like reptilian like shape-shifting?
Yeah, that's what pretty much most of the plot is going to be based on.
That's some original thinking, you know.
Yeah.
Because like people try to judge you for the way that you see the world. It's like I will never get the chance to see the world the way you see it. Regardless of how hard I try, I will never be able to put myself in your shoes. At least not in this lifetime. So
Yeah.
You know, it's important to respect people's viewpoints. You know, it's not, you don't judge people for the way that they think. You know, these things are possible. Anything is fucking possible.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.